Some major tea has just been spilled about Twitch streamer and YouTuber Pokimane. A former offline TV member named Fedmyster has gathered up all of his receipts and is now calling her out for being manipulative. We're going to tell you all about it right here on IO, but first make sure you tap that like button if you haven't already because it really helps us out. Now, thank you for the delay, let's just get right into it. For those of you who don't know, Fedmyster was involved in a big controversy back in June. He was faced with allegations of harassment by his housemates and colleagues. Since this time, he has mostly disappeared out of the public eye. However, now a Word document has been leaked that appears to be a response from Fedmyster to Pokimane about that incident. Within the 25-page document, Fed offers up his point of view on how everything went down, and he included screenshots of text message exchanges between himself and Pokimane. The accusations that are being put forth are quite serious as well, but Fedmyster believes that his receipts will wake people up. Perhaps one of the biggest claims within this document is that Pokimane had used him as a scapegoat. According to him, he wanted to address what Pokimane had been saying about him on her live streams and in video. In one section, Fedmyster outright says, "Claims she has made about me are either false, twisting the truth, or misconstrued." The claims in question come from back in June when Pokimane posted a video about Fedmyster explaining his exit from offline TV that included allegations of assault and misconduct. And according to Fed, he had already apologized for his inappropriate actions with Ivani. Now, I should back up for a second here because it's important to note that Pokimane and Fedmyster had began seeing each other, which is why all of this drama is unfolding. While she enjoyed spending time with Fedmyster, in her eyes he had rushed the relationship and began telling the other house members that they were now dating. From Fedmyster's perspective though, he believed it appeared obvious that the two were seeing each other and so didn't feel weird about sharing. Specifically, the issue came when he began sharing his odd problems with her to the other housemates. Pokimane claimed that Fed would confide in her friends and thus they would turn against her. Although in response to that claim, Fed said in his letter, "So let me give a little context here since that was never provided. Poki always goes to bed at midnight every night without fail." Making it clear that since Pokimane's streaming schedule is very strict, she didn't have time to hang out with the OTV members as much as he could. He then goes on to say, "If I stopped the stream at 10 PM, I'd hang with her till midnight, then I would off and hang out with the rest of the house. I would rarely talk to the other girls about my issues with Poki, but I sometimes did." He then added, "It's just nuts to hear now that I was being manipulative and trying to make the girls hate her or leave her out intentionally. That's complete bullshit. I just wanted someone to talk to." He then goes on to make another accusation where he claims that it was Pokimane who wanted Ivani to get fired in the first place. Ivani had started as her assistant and was the acting house manager for offline TV. However, according to Fed, Pokimane described her as lazy and that she wasn't giving 100%. Text message exchanges included in the document show a conversation between Ivani and Fed that support the argument of Ivani having issues with Ivani. Now, it's important to note that in this exchange, Poki seems to be getting annoyed by Ivani's success in content creation. She says in the text message to Fedmyster, "We agreed content creation was not the route, but that she likes to stream on the side, but OTV is the main thing. But now it's like sponsor deals, YouTube channel, etc." And in response, Fedmyster said, "Yeah, I feel like she's definitely in a direction where she's leaning towards content creation. To be honest, we didn't make that clear though." To close out his letter, Fedmyster states that this was only written to defend himself where possible and provide context to things he felt were necessary for his piece. In response to this document though, Pokimane had this to say, "I want to make it clear that to me, this incident with Steve was clearly a mess up on Fed's part. I confronted Fed, he apologized, and he admitted fault." She then goes on to say, "Essentially we had trouble being close but managing our friendship, knowing he wanted more, but I always felt I was upfront about it. It really bothers me that in this document he tried to make me out as the bad guy. Obviously we weren't on the same page. I hope you guys can see this from my perspective. I didn't see a future between the two of us. I thought I was always honest. Looking back, I should have been more aware of how I acted around him, but hindsight is 20/20. Although Fedmyster is still standing by his original document, and so only time will tell how fast this blows over or if the tea will just continue to flow. With that though, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled "Why Dave Chappelle Cancelled" is trending. Rika J says, "Nobody will ever cancel Dave Chappelle except for Chappelle." You got that right. I mean, he just did it. The Magic Conch says, "It's wrong to steal from an artist. Those networks should be ashamed of themselves, but we all know they aren't." They most definitely are not ashamed of themselves, but I'm hoping that this puts at least a little bit of pressure on them. Courtney Danielle says, "That title got me. Glad it's just a case of him sticking up for his art. If you're reading this and haven't seen his opening monologue on SNL, go watch it. It's a masterpiece." Anytime Dave Chappelle is allowed to hit the microphone, it's pretty much a masterpiece. Sylvia Reyes says, "I love Dave. I hope the cancellation helps him regain power over his creative rights." Yeah, I just hope he gets the show back, you know? Like, even if he doesn't get the money, just give him the rights to the show back. Marie Kai says, "LOL, you can tell that some people commented without watching the video." Yeah, I saw a lot of people that were just leaving comments like, "You can never cancel Dave Chappelle. This is ridiculous." And then 30 replies that are like, you didn't finish the video, did you?" But make sure you always finish the video, because then you get to this sweet ending where I get to say things like thank you so much for watching. And I've been your host, Johnny Rogers, and until next time, you stay classy, okay?